everybody, and welcome back to Astroneer with your friend Kuros Paladin. Thank you for joining me. And we can see our little guy, he's all decked out in holiday getup because the holidays are upon us. So, you can't really see, he's got the little bauble there, sort of, you can see the visor. He's got the little bauble visor. So anyhow, we're standing here on Glacio. I was just checking the only auto extractor I'm aware of that's running at the moment in this save, and that is this hematite. And as you can see, it is 100% ready to go. Only have 107 in here, so hopefully this will completely fill up, but it will take time, of course. So we'll just let it go. So what do I want to do this episode? Well, this episode I want to go visit all my bases on each of the planets just to see what's really going on each of them. I'm pretty certain, obviously Silva is going good. Aatrox is going good. Over here on Glacio, going good. I just gave this one a rebuild. So I say revisit them all, but not really, because I do remember also rebuilding the base over on Novus. So the only ones I can't remember what they are like at the moment is Calidor, the one Visania, that was it, and DeSolo. Those are the three that I just cannot remember what they are. This save has been going for almost 3 years, this particular save, because it started February 6th, I believe it was, with the launch of Astroneer 1.0 that day, and this is just a continual save. So, really old, and I have so many saves, I can't remember. I do get them kind of mixed up together. So we got 15 launches, and if I could hit the right key, instead of hopping in and out of the shuttle, there we go. So I want V, not F. And we're going to head off to, we're going to go from cold to hot. So we're going to go straight to Calidor here. Well, you know what? No, we're going to go to Visania since it's right next door. Right next planet? What would that be? Right next orbit? I don't know what that would be. Alright. So let's check out, what do I have over here? I really can't remember what this is. As soon as I see it, I'll remember. And yeah, okay. Oh, I really probably shouldn't have that sitting there, should I? Let's move this. That's probably not a good spot for it. In fact, that's a very bad spot for it. Because landing zone too steep. Okay. So I need to move this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. Alright. So that was a bad idea. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, this base isn't bad. It could use some improvement. I have the chemistry lab. I have atmospheric condenser, soil condenser. Not a lot of storage here though. Very light on the storage. So I could probably go so far as to put in some new storage. And also just give some more space to this base, right? We need a space base. And yeah, this is... Wow, this is rough. Wow, I'm surprised I made it this rough. Let's smooth this out just a little bit here. I'm usually a little bit better than this. Yeah, wow, this is really rough. So let's see here. Actually, we can possibly... Hang on, let's see. I know I just flattened that. Let's take that in just a little bit. There we go. Of course, I don't want this entire episode to be me just flattening surfaces, right? So, I'm just shocked at how... Yeah, okay, now I'm just making things worse. I'm just shocked at how I left it, that's all. So... Maybe it's because I ran through here with the drill on the um, rover and didn't realize what I did. So, okay. I don't know if I like the gray, pink, green, light gray there, but it'll have to do. So, okay, that's a lot better. Anyhow, I could probably, I mean, I've got this over here. I could expand out this way, because that's, I think, my entrance to the underworld. Nope, that's not an entrance to the underworld. That is just a random road. Yeah, this is just a road that heads out. So, yeah, I don't need to, I don't want to block it, of course. Sorry, I'm thinking many things at once here. So, but yeah, I could expand out this way just to get a little more space, because this one does seem very crowded, very cramped. Um, so what I'll do... Oh yeah, and I forgot, I even have a rect solar array there. What I can do is expand this out between episodes so nobody has to watch. I have done a lot between episodes. So I can't remember everything I've done between episodes, but I did do a lot. It was mostly just maintenance and cleanup, though. It was nothing huge. So, all right. Well, I think I know what I want to do for this one. So I want to make it larger, which I did kind of make it a problem because I should not have built right next to this hill. That really cuts into my space unless I literally cut into the side of this hill, as I've already started to do. So, and I hemmed myself in by putting a road right here. So I could do a little bit of what I did on Aatrox and have the suspended base up above the crossroads. But that did take a while to build. Both Captain Clueless and I worked quite a while on that one. So, all right. Oh, look at this. Hiding underneath there. That's a valuable item. And I just left it just sitting under there. Okay. Do I have any of those sitting here? Nope. I will take that back to Silva eventually. All right. So, yep. Okay. So, Visania, expand. Let's go check out Calidor. And I believe Calidor is the one that I have was right next to a massive ammonium deposit. Wherever that landing site is. Here we go. Let's go ahead and land. Oh, nope, I know what it is now. Okay, same thing. I think this one is very cramped. Oh, no, this one's very good, well laid out. Okay. Yeah, this one's pretty good. And look at that, I've got a lot of exo chips there, too. So, yeah, this one's pretty good. I'm happy with this one. Plenty of space. Good enough storage. So, yeah, I'm happy with this one. So, all right. I don't even have space for an extra exo chip there, do I? All right. So last one that I wanted to look at was D Solo. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And then, similar to City Skylines, you know, I've been playing this save, as I said, for nearly 3 years, and I really do want to start a new save. I've been saying this a lot. I really want to do it with some other folks. Oh, look at that. That's one of those landing pads. Ooh. I actually have in one of my other saves, I turned that into an actual base. But anyhow, as I was saying, I really want to have a multiplayer version of this. because I think this game is a lot of fun when you have multiple people and everybody's kind of working together to build something. And I really do want to do that as opposed to just me alone again. Um, okay, and I do remember this one. This is where I put, yep, up above. Yeah. So I have on top of the hill there I created. All right. Yep, I do remember this. And then around the bottom. So this base, believe it or it's kind of ironic, one of the smallest planets, and yet it's one of the largest laid out. Not the largest, but pretty darn large layout there. Um, yeah, okay. With plenty of power. So, but yeah, I want to have something where there's more than one of us, but it is just really hard to get more than one person online at the same time. Um, so I may actually see if I can reach out to some old friends from YouTube, see if they would be interested. Unfortunately, a couple of them have lost interest in this game. They just don't want to play it anymore. And that's okay. You know, if you don't enjoy playing it, don't play it anymore. Um, it's possible that they've just done, everything they want to. I feel like there's still something more. And for me, it's a new save. It's exploring. It's a new planet, basically. Even though Silva is Silva and DeSolo is DeSolo, so on and so forth. It's just the new things that you discover, I should say, in building a new base. Uh, I kind of wanted to start a new base in this save over on Silva, a secondary base. I've done that on two of my other saves, created a new base almost on the opposite side of the planet. And after I got done with it, it only took about 2, 3 hours to get it. And it's like, okay, now what? It's just another base on the same planet. Um, but when you are starting from scratch, it's a challenge. You got to get the bytes, you've got to get the resources, all that, and that's part of the fun. It's just the base building and the exploration. So, okay, I'm gonna head back now. Um, Actually, I see an exo cache up there. Do I have any dynamite here? Um, I don't have any dynamite, do I? None in his backpack? Nope. Come on, no dynamite at all? Let's drop that there so I have some grouped. And no dynamite. Oh well. Although I am glad you can now trade for exo chips. Because searching for those darn caches, there's one right over here on the hill here. Searching for them can be not as much fun, especially since they seem to be very limited on Silva, very abundant on the moon, and then finding the sulfur and carbon to get the dynamite. Now you can just trade for them, which is cool. So, I forgot how you do it. There you go. So you can just trade 3 astronium for 1 exochip. That is pretty harsh, but you can find a lot of astronium in the cores of these planets. So in fact, here I've got 4 just sitting here. So, and unfortunately, I keep bumping up my local volume over here. My mouse cable or mouse wire, whatever you want to call it, keeps bumping the volume knob on my desk, and then all of a sudden everything goes really loud. Okay, anyhow, let's head back to Silva and check out what's going on that base. So while we're doing that, I just want to let you know, here we are in December, and I went away for 2 weeks. I went to Disney World for 10, 11 days, 12 days. Let me think. Wednesday, so I got there on a Tuesday, so then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So uh, 11 and then 12th day I departed. So I Disney World for 12 days with only 2 off days. Uh, had a lot of fun, but very rushed because unfortunately Captain Clueless, his wife, and their son, um, not I shouldn't say unfortunately they went with me. What I should be saying is they went with me. In fact, they invited me to go with them, and I was very grateful. Um, and I had a separate flight from them, and we got or I got to Orlando, no problem. And then when I landed, they were trying to contact me, which of course they couldn't while I'm on the phone or on the plane. Their son had picked up a stomach bug or something and was, having problems. So they said we can't show up when he's sick like this. So they had to cancel. So our very first day at Disney World was supposed to be at Hollywood Studios. Um, we got that because you have to reserve everything now at Disney World. You can't just show up at one of the parks and say, I want to go in. You have to actually have a reservation. So they were able to cancel that one and move it to Sunday, which was our off day. But what that did is it put us 4 days in a row at parks. And oh my gosh, let me tell you, that was a lot of running around, a lot of walking around, a lot of fun. Our first day was at Magic Kingdom. I had Wednesday before Thanksgiving all to myself down there, and it was an off day, so I wandered around to Disney Springs and just checked things out. And then our first day was Thanksgiving Day at Magic Kingdom, and it was a lot of fun. But oh my gosh, was it crowded! Wow, was it crowded! Um, and a lot of fun. I have not been to the Magic Kingdom for 12 years, so it was really cool to see some of the new stuff. And some of the old stuff, the teacups are still there. It's a Small World is still there. I did do that. You know, Haunted Mansion. You got to do the Haunted Mansion. You got to do Small World, right? Um, and then some of the new stuff, like the Buzz Lightyear arcade or whatever shoot thing, which was kind of fun. The Monsters Inc. laugh floor or Monsters Inc. Factory laugh floor, whatever it was. That was really cool because it was kind of an interactive thing that was really kind of neat. Um, we did uh, I can't remember the other thing. I really like the Hall of Presidents, and I got a story about that. In fact, this episode is probably going to be a recount of my stay at Disney World. But we I like the Hall of Presidents, so I actually ran through that, twice. But and a story about that one, which I'll get to. And then our next day was Animal Kingdom, and that didn't go over too well because we didn't even get there till about 1:30 in the afternoon. And then we went into the Navi River attraction, and we got into the queue. We were in the queue for about 30 minutes, and then something happened. And we were in that queue for probably 2 hours. Um, and unfortunately, it's a 5 minute experience, not worth it for 2 hours. Just not worth it. I was a little bit grumpy. All of us were grumpy after that. Um, but there were some technical issues, and we were stuck in the queue for 2 hours. So now it's almost 4 p.m. What did we do? Well, we had to get something to eat, so we did that. Now it's almost 6 p.m. And we went over to the Flight of Passage in Pandora. And we waited again for about 90 minutes for that. Um, got onto it. That's only like a 5 minute experience as well, but really cool, visually stunning. I've never seen Avatar. It's all based on Avatar, the movie. Uh, really, really visually stunning. The 3D thing was very immersive. Sent Captain Clueless a little bit too much. He got a little whoa. and his son was a little bit too low as well. But anyhow, by the time we got done with it, the park was closing, and so we left. So we did not have a good experience at Animal Kingdom, but that's because we got there so late, and then that 2 hour wait for the Navi River. Just, ugh. So, anyhow, our Sunday was Hollywood Studios, and we did Smuggler's Run. In fact, Captain Kuros' son really enjoyed that. In fact, there's a single rider queue for that, and he went on. He just kept going around and around and around on that. And then we did Rise of the Resistance. This was awesome. I forgot to get a photo of the very first thing that you know, the experience is you're on a shuttle and you're captured by the Empire, the First Order, and that first room you get out to is just awesome. There's like 30 First Order stormtroopers just lined up there. Uh, and you're in a huge hangar bay. And I didn't get a photo of it. Photos were allowed, but I just didn't because I was too busy being wowed by it. I'm one of these people that I love being immersed in the thing. I can do a little hand waving on, hey, this is a little chintzy. Uh, Gosh, I am really sorry, guys. I'm not playing the game. This is really kind of like a review of what I did. But it was a fun thing, and I'm hoping that, like I play this game for you guys to really enjoy this game. Maybe if you've never been to Disney World and it's getting more and more expensive, if you want to go while you still can afford it. So, uh, but Rise of the Resistance was really awesome. Um, and it uses this technology, the little carts or whatever you want to call them, pods that move around. I still don't know how they work. Captain Clueless said he knows exactly how they work. He didn't explain it to me, but I'm just amazed because I'm used to like guide wires in the floor and it follows those. There was none of that. If there was, maybe they were buried or whatever under the surface, but I couldn't see anything. And these little pods just move all over the place with precision, absolute precision, and it was amazing. Um, and anyhow, we did that, and that was the big one. That's the one that people are waiting in line. They know they're going to be waiting. I think when we saw it, it was something like 145 minutes. Folks, if you know what that is, that's 2 hours and 25 minutes. Almost 2.5 hours of standing in line. Now, the experience is about 7, 8 minutes. Unfortunately, a lot of that is standing around waiting, but anyhow, it's worth it. It was worth it. We paid, because the mouse wants to get every little bit of money it can out of you. We paid for the individual lightning lane, which kind of like puts you at the front of the queue. So, but anyhow, we did it for that because we all wanted to do that, and we all loved it. My favorite attraction there, though, that I would do over and over again, because I'm not going to wait for Rise of the Resistance over and over, is the Tower of Terror. Oh my gosh, I love that thing. I do not like Zero G, but if you've never experienced it, it is really cool. And I didn't get it. There's a plaque in the lobby of the hotel. The story is it's a 1900 hotel, and in the 1920s, a storm like lightning hit it. It's Twilight Zone themed, by the way. So Rod Serling introduces you to this story. And lightning struck it and caused the two wings of the hotel to disappear, and the folks on the elevator disappeared with it. And now you're on that elevator, and you see the story as you go up, and then you go up one more flight, and you go through with some really amazing effects. To me, this is again the engineering thing. There's a really cool effect where you're going towards a star field, and then they just did it really well. A vertical, bright, blinding light line that then shows up and it splits out, and you're looking at just a wall. And it's like, the typical, Rod Serling's Welcome to the Twilight Zone. And this is what I love about this ride. It's random. Every time. Sometimes right after, into the Twilight Zone. And then it just drops you. Other times it just keeps you there for a little bit and then drops you. Sometimes it keeps you there and then shoots you straight up. Sometimes it will, I mean, it's random. Each time is random. And you go up and down and up and down, and then the doors open where the wings were, and you're looking out over all of Hollywood studios, and you see how high up you are. Um, this is an amazing experience. I love it. But if you don't like going up and down and bouncing up and down, and it will send you up and then straight back down, so you actually rise out of your seat a little bit. Sometimes it'll rise you up and then hold you there and then drop you. It'll rise you up and then up again. It's just a really thing. That is the one thing I'll go on over and over again. Hollywood studios. Um, Anyhow, here I am going on and on. I'm really geeked about this, so this is why I'm doing it. And I'm sorry I'm not playing the game. Uh, Anyhow, that was Sunday. Monday was Epcot. I like Epcot. However, it's starting to fall out of favor. It fell out of favor, I should say, this trip, only because it is going through a major overhaul. So, if anybody is familiar with Epcot, there's Future World, which is where the big golf ball is, known as Spaceship Earth. And then there's World Showcase, which is across the lake. So that's where you've got all the countries: America, United States, Italy, France, England, Morocco, China, Japan, Norway, Mexico, and I probably missed one other one in there. I think there's one from Africa that I can't remember. But anyhow, there's all those countries over there. If you like food, from various places, the World Showcase is awesome because in one day you can hit all those cuisines in just one day. And they're not like theme park food, they are authentic dishes from each of them. Unfortunately, getting into those restaurants is difficult. But Epcot, Spaceship Earth used to be my favorite. I really liked the Jeremy Irons narration. Walter Cronkite, I think, was the first one that narrated it, then Jeremy Irons. Now it's Dame Judi Dench. She does a good job, but it just felt, I don't know, Jeremy Irons had something behind his voice that made it really cool. But unfortunately, the experience, aside from the audio part, the experience is the same since it opened. It hasn't changed. I mean, the animatronics are all exactly the same and everything, but still really cool. Um, I had a good time at Epcot. And then we went, all of us, to a restaurant, Space 220. Now, it's chitsy, I guess would be the word. Um, and it was expensive, but the food was good. This is an experience where you are at I can't remember, they're a tethered space station that's 220 miles above the surface of the Earth. And you go in, and the experience. I probably will post a video of our return to Earth, and maybe a couple of videos inside. But you go up 220 miles, and when you're in there, it was really kind of cool. I again I'm a kid at heart. I really am. And this was incredible. I really enjoyed it. It was expensive though. Um, but it was really cool. If you can do it and you don't mind a slightly expensive meal, go for it. Space 220 over at Mission Space, which I noticed is no longer sponsored by Hewlett Packard. Each of those pavilions tends to be sponsored by somebody, and a lot of them seem to have lost their sponsors, which is interesting. But what I was talking about as far as Epcot, here I am almost 30 minutes in. They are doing a major overhaul. The center part of Future World, Innoventions or Communicore, if you remember it. That's the center part. Is just raised. It's gone. There's one to the. I'm trying to remember. I think it's the west. No, the east. The east Innoventions Pavilion is still there, but it's being renovated. The west one has been demolished and razed. Um, I guess that's the same word, right? It's been raised. And they are completely rebuilding that entire plaza. So where the fountain was, everything. So Epcot really felt kind of dead. It really did, because they just have these walls up that are, of course, for safety. But it really felt like, it just felt a little downer. But supposedly in a couple of years, this is going to be really awesome. They're building a Moana experience in the middle of it. So, and then they had some changes because of COVID. There was going to be like a giant conference center. Now they're hemming and hawing. This is at least what a cast member told me. They're hemming and hawing on whether or not they're going to actually build it because they don't know, with the way the world is now, can they get people tightly packed like that anymore? So, um, but anyhow, um, that and the old Universe of Energy slash, which was Universe of Energy, then Ellen's Energy Adventure, is now closed, and it's looked like they were painting the exterior of it. Is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy experience, but that was another huge pavilion that was just closed. So anyhow, Epcot was fun, but not what I remember. So so I want to go back to Hollywood Studios, and this will be the last thing I talk about for the thing. And I'm sorry that I'm not playing the game. I probably should have just had an episode or a video that was just my experience at Disney World. So, uh, like I said, I'm a kid at heart, and what I do and is when I go somewhere, I have, and I had a video of my unboxing of the Shovel Knight board game. I have a plush Shovel Knight. I also have a plush King Knight. And then I more recently got a newer plush Shovel Knight. He's a little bit bigger, and he actually has armature inside, so you can position his arms. And a plush Black Knight. These things they're really cuddly. They really are. But they, the little one, the little Shovel Knight, and I explained this in the video with Shovel Knight board game. Um, when I was at the hospital recovering at night, I could not sleep. Um, I was in a lot of pain. Um, you know, the little guy helped me. So it was something to anchor on while I was there. So I called him my pain buddy. And I think I talked about this in another video and put a photo in the corner. I'll try to remember to put it over here again of him on my bed, where he, I say he, it's an it, it's a plush toy, but it really did help me. I'm 51 years old. At that time, I was 49. But I'm a kid at heart, and this little toy meant a lot to me. So I have a backpack, a Deadpool backpack, and I would stick one of the four into the backpack, peeking out, so it could be seen by other people. And people would comment. I had a couple people say, "Hey, it's Shovel Knight," or "Hey, it's a Black Knight." Um, so Thursday at Magic Kingdom, the second visit to Magic Kingdom, I had the King Knight plush with me, and I went to early in the morning. I went to the Hall of Presidents because I enjoy that one. So I went into the Hall of Presidents and I looked at some of the stuff they got there. They have some items from George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, and I was looking at the cases, reading about them and such. Bolo tie from Ronald Reagan and such. But anyhow, I was looking at them, and then finally the doors opened to the experience. I go in, I take the backpack off my back, and I look, and King Knight isn't there. He's just not there. And I look around and I can't see him. He's not there. And I started panicking. It's like, oh God, where did it go? Where did this plush figure go? So they don't give you a lot of time. They want to get things going through. Um, I got to tell the story because the cast members at Disney World did a really great job. Anyhow, um, I couldn't find them. So I went back out the entrance and I found the first cast member I could, Gabby, Gaby, and I said to her, I lost a plush figure, a plush knight that's yellow. And she said, I haven't seen one. And I'm like, okay, uh, where would I go? And she said, let me check the lost and found. But really quick, I have to close the doors. Only like 3 minutes to get people seated. So she had to start that experience, and it's like a 25-minute experience for people. So they started it. She went in after that to the lost and found and said, I don't see anything in there. Um, so what we can do is after the show, we can go into the auditorium and look for it. Okay. Where do I go? But I don't remember the last time I had them. The last time I had it that I remembered was actually I've been on the Pirates of the Caribbean experience, so that was the last time I remember seeing it. It's like if it fell out somewhere prior and is just somebody picked it up outside on one of the sidewalks. Where would it end up? She said, well, each area has its own lost and found, and at the end of the day, they all consolidate into one place. Um, so she told me if it was over there in Adventureland, it would be at this location. If it was here in Liberty Town, it would be right next door at the guest relations. So I went over to guest relations. There was a bit of a line, but I was waiting there for only about 2 minutes, and then she came over, and she said, "We're pretty certain it's going to be in the auditorium because, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. She knows she saw something dangling out of your backpack when you went in. So we're pretty certain it's in the auditorium." Okay. So then I went back over right next door to there, and then Jeff from Disney World security came up and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in from the exit at the end of this experience. So we'll stand there, and if anybody has it, and hopefully they'll say, hey, I found this, and then there, we've got it. So, and if we don't, then what we'll do is we'll go into the auditorium and we'll look for it. So, I had to wait, and this was like, another 15 minutes of me just like wringing my hands because I really do care for this little plush figure. I really do. Um, and finally, the show ended. Everybody walks out. There's not a lot of people because, Hall of Presidents is, quote, educational. So people don't, it's not as much fun as, the ones that zing you around and such. So, anyhow, nobody came out with it. So he's like, all right, let's go in. Now, normally, they open the entrance doors to the auditorium shortly after the exit doors open. They kept them closed. And we went up and down. I said, I'm about the fourth or fifth aisle back, about a third of the way over, house left. And he's, oh, your terminology. I'm like, well, yeah. But anyhow, so we started over there, and it took us about 3 minutes. And then finally, I found it. I found him. He had fallen out of my backpack and landed because the seats flip up, and he had landed into the seat, and the seat had where the seat flipped up. So nobody would see him unless you looked down into the seat, and that's what finally we saw it that way. And I picked it up, and he had his little scepter that he also has, and I held him up and said, I found it. And they're like, all right. So I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll get the heck out of here so you can start the next show. And I went out. And they started the next show, but they held up for all these other people. So I apologize to anybody out there that may have been there at about 11:30 a.m. on the 2nd of December at the Hall of Presidents in Walt Disney World. If you had to wait a little while, that was my fault. But they actually waited until we did it or found it. And it was Jeff, Gabby, and the other two women. I can't remember their names, but we all looked and finally, I did find it. So I left. Now, here's what the great thing though is afterward. I thought about it as I was about to leave, and I turned around and I went back in and I found not Gabby, the one that started. I really am sorry I can't remember their names. Uh, Went in and said, "Could I get a favor from you? And when you have about 5 minutes," and she said, "Certainly. We just need to start the next experience, and then we have about 10 minutes between experiences." I'm like, "Thank you." So they went ahead and started it, and then she came back and said, what is it you would like?" I was like, "I want to get a photo of the three of you with the figure or with the plush, so that I can show people how awesome the cast at Disney World are." And so I got Jeff. I got my phone right here, so I'm going to get those names into the video so that I don't get it. And I'm also going to put the photo up in the lower corner so that you can see it. So it was, here we go, Jamie, Janine, and Jeff. And Gabby wasn't in the photo only because, unfortunately, they rotate out who's in the auditorium, and she was in the auditorium at that time. So I'll put that photo up over here in the lower left of the three of them holding King Knight. They were so awesome. They were, they really were. They were like, I just got to say this. They wanted me to find it. It wasn't like, "Oh, well, sir, you gotta just go to Lost and Found, and if it was turned in. They didn't do that. They were like, "We're going to find this for you. We're going to make certain we get it for you." And they were even saying, like, "Did you get it here?" Like, no, it's a, rival kingdom. So no, I didn't get it here. But, they were saying, "If you got it here, we'll get you a replacement." It's like, no, unfortunately, you can't get a replacement of this guy. So, anyhow, that was a really awesome experience. So what I am going to do, folks, I'm going to write a letter to Walt Disney World, email. I don't know if I'm going to write a letter, physically mail one in, but saying, how awesome Janine, Jamie, Jeff, and Gabby were. And then I want to, write it and tell them how, I did make a magical experience. And then I want to put a story on there from King Knight's point of view. As if though he was a real toy or whatever, like Toy Story. Because I want it to be fun for them to read. So I want to have a little story about King Knight and his experience and being found and such. So, anyhow, you know what, folks? I'm going to end this here. But I wanted to get that out because I hope you stayed tuned in until the end of this episode, even though I didn't do anything. This was really just a recap of my experience at Disney World. But if you did make it this far, how awesome the cast at Disney World are. Just to let you know, I also do the pin trading. I'm one of those people. And the cast at Disney World are such amazing people. They're always friendly. They're always helpful. I know that's what they're supposed to do, but it really takes a special kind of person to do that 12 or 10 hours a day. And these people were awesome. There was one guy at Epcot at the American Experience, I think it was, American Adventure, because when I got there to it at 1 in the afternoon, it was down for technical reason. I went back at 3, it was still down, and I think his name was Tyler. I went back at 9, and I went up, and he's like, "Hey, it's open." And I'm like, "You've been here 6 hours." He's like, "Yep, I've been here since 11 this morning." So, I mean, he's pulling a 10-hour day, but he still was smiling and in a great mood. That's what makes Disney World so incredibly awesome, is the people. So, yeah, am I an ad for Disney World? Well, I guess I am because I'm a happy customer. Was it expensive? Oh, heck yeah, it was expensive. And it's only getting more expensive. But if you want to go to Disney World, the sooner you can do it, the better, because it's just going to get more and more expensive. But it is a lot of fun. So, everybody, I hope you stayed tuned in all this time because, yeah, I didn't get any real astroneering done here. I really just wanted to talk about my experience at Disney World. I really do got to think about what am I going to do with this particular save. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Should I continue with this save, and what would you like to see me do? Or should I start a new save, and is there a specific goal you would like to see me do in there? Realizing that this particular save almost 3 years old, so automation didn't exist. Exochips didn't exist. A couple of things didn't exist back then. So this save was built mostly with, version 1.0 in mind. A lot has been introduced. And new bases, all my new saves with each one of these major updates, I really designed the base a lot differently. I really plan for automation now. Ken Kadef, darn it. Captain Kuros, Kadef, and I think it's no surprise what their names are, because if you paid close attention, you would have heard them. But, the three of us worked really hard on getting this thing working, but I don't get this extensive anymore. But, let me know what you would like me to do. Because I love playing this game. I love sharing the experience with people. If you enjoy watching it, that's all the better. If you don't enjoy watching it, that's okay. It's not your cup of tea, and nobody's forcing you to watch. And I'm glad nobody has been negative in their comments saying, this sucks, or you gotta, you're just terrible. Constructive criticism, words are difficult. Constructive criticism is so much better than just, you suck. Well, why do I suck? Tell me why I suck, and tell me, what could be better, and be constructive about it. So, everybody, I got zoomed in earlier so I could do this. It's already been going on for quite some time. Folks, y'all take care, and I will see all of you in hopefully a future episode of Astroneer. Take care, and bye.